Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the All Balls Sports Show, a discussion of any and all sports, local, regional, and national. And now, here are your hosts, Dan James, Eddie Bobo, Ty Cobb, and the coach, Vance Ballou.
Thank you, Bill Jones. Welcome into the All the Ball Sports Show for this Wednesday evening. Glad to have you all along. He is, by day, the Columbia Parks and Recreation Director, but at night, he turns into Sensei Reagan.
Yeah, that's the way it rolls. That's the way it rolls.
How many kids do you have enrolled up there, Mack?
Totally about 25. We
Cool.
just opened up in the fall. We actually opened up. Well, I say we. Bruno opened up, and then I come in and teach for him a day or so a week.
Because he just happened to get taken away by the XFL St. Louis Battlehawks, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
You know, I do have a new favorite team, which is the St. Louis team because of number 61.
Real good. They looked real good until last week. You know, things got a little ugly last week. But
what
he's
happened?
playing. Sometimes in professional athletics, you just get your butt handed to you. That's just part of it. You know, you win some games you shouldn't, and you lose some games you shouldn't. So, but I think they're still in a good position to finish strong, have a chance to win it all at the end. I don't know if you know, but Bruno's had a pretty big week. He made their midseason All-Pro team. You know,
wow.
So
That's good.
So things are going well for him, looking real good.
What do you think would be the chances that that Bruno would end up going to the NFL because of his excellence in the XFL?
It's pretty high. It's pretty high. He'll be in a camp somewhere, and the XFL is pretty. They're pretty open. They're released to go once the season's over. So, I think he's the highest. If he's not the highest, he's the second highest rated interior lineman in the league. So, he was that in the SEC, and it didn't work out then. But he's shown himself at another level. So he's played against some guys that everybody on his offensive line is probably 3 to 4 or 5 years of NFL experience. So he's a new guy, and he's done well.
Yeah. So do you think that when he gets to the NFL, he's going to say, "Well, it's about time"?
I think he will. To be honest, I think Bruno will instantly go there, and just like he did in the SEC and the XFL, he'll instantly become one of the better players.
Right. Well, I can say this, and it's not because I know you and I know Bruno as well, but he does look good on the field.
Yeah, he plays really fast.
Yeah.
A lot of that goes back to the judo. Judo's a sport. If you don't move fast, you got to have good functional strength. You got to be able to use your strength while you're moving, and that's the thing judo does. Which these little guys are really putting on a show over here right now.
He looked pretty good chugging that Bud Light as well.
Yeah, he did. I'm sure Dad was a little more pleased than Mom.
He looked like he had some natural talent with that.
Well, the hands from Vanderbilt are they own one of the distributors. I think it's in Memphis and in Chicago, and they're big Vandy alums. So I think he was just sporting the Vanderbilt alumni.
There we go. There we go.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. That was great. That was a great clip when I saw that on Twitter.
That's your store, and you're sticking to it.
There
right?
you go.
Well, he's got that Vandy degree, and he's into marketing. He's marketing himself up like.
It's all about branding. Did we lose?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
No, there he is. Okay. Well, the former governor that we had,
Ned Ray McWhorter?
Ned Ray McWhorter, owned a beer distributorship in West Tennessee in Dresden. And every time he went to a photo op and he had a beer can in his hand, he had that Budweiser turned toward the camera.
That's right.
Well, if you look, actually Bruno did that. I don't know if that was just out of luck or what.
No, it was no. It's that marketing part of
There
it,
you
man.
go.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
the marketing
branding.
part.
It's all about the brand.
The thing that they have is this, I don't know what it's called, seltzer or whatever.
Yeah.
But the XFL did an awesome job of marketing. That's one thing the XFL's done, is really good at marketing itself. So, it's one of those things, do what you do well.
And speaking of marketing, coming up next Tuesday, we have the Mid-State Classic at Ridley Park. Are we ready for it?
Well, we're as ready as we always are. It's a constant moving target. There's so much going on with it. It's just a massive train. You just jump on it and ride that baby. You don't try to control it.
Well, my understanding is Natalie Poole from Memphis is wanting to come up here and kick some UT butt. She said she can't wait to do that.
Oh, she's going to be ready. I guarantee she's going to be ready. Her team, we're going to show them the red carpet, and, they'll be treated better than any SEC football team on that day.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're going to roll it out and take care of business.
Well, I talked to her this morning, and she is ready. And I talked to Ralph this morning, and he's ready. But they're kind of coming at this thing. They're going to have virtually the same numbers, but it's kind of like your old math teacher used to say, show your work. They've gotten there in two different ways. I think this will be the first year that UT has been here that they've not been ranked in the top 25.
Yeah, and they just lost their their in-state winning streak. So I don't think they're going to look to lose another game to an in-state opponent. So they're going to be – both teams will be after, their absolute best performance. So I was really happy to hear, Mo, when you heard that she was doing an article on that, I'm sure you'll sell it well, and our ticket sales will boom.
I'm not sure how much of an impact I'll have on your ticket sales, but we'll have something in there. Yeah,
marketing.
Yeah,
there you go.
We're looking forward to getting something out there. And like I said, UT struggling a little bit. They lost to Carolina last night at home, and last I checked, Carolina was losing at Lipscomb this afternoon. So interesting turn of events.
Yeah, it all depends upon pitching and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what Ralph said this morning. It's called fast pitch for a reason. If you ain't got the pitching, you're going to struggle a little bit.
But those are, the teams they come in, they're so well-mannered, they're so respectful, they're everything you want your young student athletes to be and represent their school and everything. And the coaches are the same. But you better believe there's some intensity in there. Those are elite athletes, and they're going to really bring it next week.
You have to really take it as a feather in your cap, though, Mack, because both those coaches that I talked to this morning and every coach that I've talked about regarding this event talks about the first-class job that the city of Columbia does with this event. And in their dealings with you all, and that's, going back to marketing and branding, that is really a selling point for these teams as they come in here, because they know that they're going to be treated in a first-class manner, in a first-class atmosphere, and like I said, that's got to be a tribute to you guys.
Yeah, it's what we mean to do. We basically, I just took everything that I'd ever worked with, in recreation. I tried to implement some of the stuff, how we treated, when I used to work security when I first got out of college for like rock concerts. I took the same atmosphere and I wanted to bring that into the sports arena, which is really important now because, people can travel. They can go with me. We need Ralph to come here. He doesn't need us. We need him, for this event. So it's a necessity that we treat people well, and make them want to come back.
Well, so mission accomplished.
Well, it's also important that I have Crazy Train on my playlist for Mack. I've also got you something else special for Tuesday, since it is going to be St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that.
I got you.
Irish boy.
I got you 3 great Irish songs already on the playlist.
Oh, that would be awesome.
One of them is not Danny Boy. I can tell you that. But I've got.
One of them shipping up to Boston.
I have no idea, baby. But I'm gonna tell you what. These are 3 pub songs that you're gonna love.
So is everybody wearing green on Tuesday? Then?
I have no idea.
Well, my heart's green, so I don't have to wear green.
There you go. Well, and I don't imagine anybody's going to pinch you if you don't. So
Yeah, we're honest.
Hey, if they want to end up on their back,
exactly.
yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Well, not at work. I probably would just take it and go on. I might catch you in the parking lot afterwards. But I like my job. I hate to be called in city manager's office trying to explain that the next day.
Hey, you got something else coming up on Tuesday, too, that unfortunately Eddie and I cannot go to because, well, we'll be a little bit busy.
You'll be working.
Yeah.
That's right.
But we've got the opening of the new dog park in Murray County
I
Park.
almost said the name. Oh man, Kelly would have killed me.
Oh, so we're not releasing the name of it.
We're not releasing the name. Actually at the ribbon cutting.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. We almost had some breaking news then, huh?
Well, I would have got mixed up and said it because I'm sitting here, trying to talk to you guys and concentrate on my kids.
Okay, but let me ask you this: are you standing there in your gi?
I am.
Oh, okay. All right.
Fully geeked.
So you're fully gigged.
Feet up, already broke out.
We need a Skype feed of Mack.
There we
and his
go.
gi.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be awesome.
Now, are you Koala Kai or are you? Have you seen
Cobra Kai?
Are you Cobra Kai or are you Koala Kai?
Well, I think it depends upon how you look at it.
What commercials is that? What is that? With the
Oh, that's for tax.
yeah,
It's one of the tax things.
Koala
Yeah.
Kai.
Yeah, koala Kai. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what the good thing is, guys. I got, in certain worlds, everything's traditional and stick the way it was probably hundreds of years ago. And I got 2 brown belts that just walked in and are taking over class and are tested for the back dump at the end of the month. So
Cool.
I don't think that there'll be any issues with them taking over class,
Oh no. No.
They're just most small and walk under the mat. So everything's good here at the
Hey, I got a brown belt, dude, and I got a weave. I got one with the big belt buckle on it. Just saying.
I got both the brown and
black. Huh? There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
bring it on up. Bring it on up.
So anyway, the Dan James Dog Park opens up on Tuesday.
That's correct. Hey, and if you've not been out there, it is awesome.
No, I haven't had a chance to see it.
Playtopia is actually going to come in. They were one that won the bid. What we did, we sent out for an RFP on this dog park. We basically said, this is how much money we got to spend on our equipment. You design it for it. So basically, when you do that, you get engineering design for free.
Really?
So yeah, so they came in, they designed the park for us. They built hundreds of these dog parks. So they took all their experience and worked it out. And then we took everybody who sent one in. I think they was 8, 10, whatever. And then we had a group of professionals such as myself go through and evaluate these parks. And Playtopia was number 1 on everybody's choice. So we knew it was a top quality park. Come in, installed it for us, got everything done before it. Randy Boyd's going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. He's going to come throw out the first pitch. He's going to cut the ribbon on the dog park same night. So really big evening for us.
Now, who's throwing out the first pitch?
Randy Boyd from the Boyd Foundation.
Oh, okay. But he's also going to be at the. Is he going to be at the Mid-State Classic? Right. I know he's from East Tennessee. He's president of UT Knoxville. I got all that.
Yeah.
But is he going to be at the Mid-State Classic?
He's going to throw out
Yes.
the first pitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, never mind. Hey. I'm signing off now. I'm leaving the show. I'm not.
You can't leave. It's your show.
Obviously, I'm not paying attention, but I'm sorry. I'm with you now. I got you, Mac.
It's your show. You can't
Well,
leave.
we're good.
Yeah. Swinging back to the Mid-State Classic
Thank
just
you.
a second.
Swinging
Mac.
back. I like that.
There we go.
Marketing.
See how I did that? Columbia State and
What
Martin.
would be awesome if we could get all these guys that are talking right now to come out and one day try to hit one of these young ladies throwing the softball. Watch out.
Hey,
Well, I tell you what.
challenge is on.
Hey, if these 3 want to try it, I'll video it because I've done it.
Yeah, I did too once, Maurice, and I was totally humiliated. Ball's on you so fast.
Well, see, here's the thing. I wasn't humiliated because I didn't have any delusions of grandeur going out there.
You were smarter than I was.
I've hit slow pitch softballs. I've hit baseballs, but that that rise ball is an element that, I'd never seen. I mean, I've seen it covering it, but standing in the batter's box 43 feet or whatever from it,
They
it's
are right on top of you. And the ball leaves their hand, it hits the mitt.
and yeah, and it's coming up. You're expecting
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The overhand thing to come down, or you're expecting the slow pitch to have that arc to it. That fast pitch, it's there, and then it jumps up on you, and your swing is not trained for that.
No. Those ladies are super athletes.
They really are, and I've seen major leaguers look bad on some of those pitches. So, like I said, I had no thought. I think what the young lady I was hitting off of back when I was actually still doing a little playing, she finally gave up and threw me a change just to let me feel halfway decent about myself. Yeah, but man, it's pretty humiliating. It's when you think you're an athlete and you think you can do something with it, they'll teach you quick. They'll humble you in a hurry. But y'all have at it. I'll watch.
No, I'm sorry. I'm in the press box. I can't do that. No.
Yeah, well, one time was enough for me also.
Wow.
No, I'll just stick to what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Eddie and I'll just be in the press box and be working.
Hey, you got Columbia State and Martin Methodist playing in the early game. Is that right?
Yep, that is correct. That's exciting. Columbia State, it's not abnormal for them to step up and play NCAA team or, a larger, a four-year college, so to say.
Yeah.
But I'm really pleased with that. Martin Methodist is close, so that'll have a good crowd. It also gives them a chance to play in the environment, that the University of Tennessee and University of Memphis will play in.
And I think they're excited about that.
Yeah. And they show up. If you've ever been there, that first game is always a bloodbath. It is always to the end.
Yeah, you went extra innings a couple of years ago. Is that right?
Oh,
This man was in the press box wringing his hands saying, "Is this game going to get over in time?"
How many times did I take the trophy and walk down just to get?
It was at least a half dozen. I know.
Oh, I was stressed out because we were running short on time. It was
Yeah.
getting close. I was like, man, I am not going to go out there and tell them we have to stop playing to play the other game.
You would have been mobbed.
I got like prayed up for like an hour. All my life, I probably was a little under prayer. But that day I got prayed
you got caught up, huh?
He would come to the press box. Are we about done yet? I don't know, Mack.
asking the wrong guy.
It ain't up to me. Somebody's got to score.
But what would happen is nobody'd score for a couple of these, and then all of a sudden somebody scores 7.
Yeah.
And they'd score 7 to match.
Yeah.
But
it was fun.
It was awesome. It was good for softball.
Yeah.
It was good for, our community. It was good for our department because everything worked out well. They ran off the field. We basically put the drag on it real quick. Bill Marber's crew helped our crew, and we got that field whipped around.
Right.
Next thing you know, we're throwing the first pitch, and that's when I get to relax a little. Is once we actually get the first pitch, because then the umpire runs the game, and I can just concentrate on the things outside the game.
Will there be an autograph session after each game?
With the things that are going on, we're not going to do an autograph session, but we are going to get autographs.
Okay.
We're getting autographs. We're getting an autograph poster from both schools, and we're preparing them to hand out at the thing.
Oh, okay.
With all the fair that's going on and the everything that's taking place, we're just going to do away with that because there's so many people traveling and coming together. It's just a way. I mean, we're as of now, we're not done like everybody else and canceled concessions. I don't think we got that big a concern, but. And
well, hey, dude, if you're canceling concessions, I'm out of here. I'm just not going to go. I'm sorry.
Got and I don't know if I ever told you, but one of my master's degrees was in public health, so we'll teach everybody to wash their hands and get prepared.
I'm like that big flower in Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Feed me.
Mack, with the weather forecast over the last few days, over the next few days, excuse me, are you concerned about the field for Tuesday?
I am concerned. anytime you have rain protected like 5 days in a row, it's a concern. Now, we do have a tarp, and we have put a ton of conditioner and dirt supplies on the field. We've got it absolutely the best surface it could be. We've rolled it with this brand new super heavy roller. I think it holds 300 gallons. You got that field real tight so the water will flow off. But that's something we can't control. If we get, an inch of rain every day, then, and then it's raining at the event, we're in trouble. But overall, it always worked out for us, except the time we had the real cold. And you can't do that. So we'll everything possible to get this game in.
All right, now I've got a marketing idea for you, Mac. I want you to listen. I want you to listen carefully. Now, these rollers, these are like 300-pound rollers, right?
No, they're 300 gallons. So
okay. That's about 1,800 pounds, somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay, here's an idea for you. Get Jack Daniels to sponsor your roller, and you have you have a 300-gallon Jack Daniel barrel roller, and then after the game, then you can have Jack Daniels. I'm just saying it's a marketing idea.
You can't do that at a public park.
It may be a termination idea. I think if I did that, I might get terminated.
Well, I don't know.
Your last act as Parks and Rec director, huh?
Can you see his big face of Jack Daniels on this roller just going over the field?
A barrel. I like it.
I'm like a barrel. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. If they put their logo and they pass enough, I might roll. I might be in front of the council saying, "Hey, this is just the marketing."
That's right.
It's
Exactly.
a local family-owned business.
Yeah. Now it may have been 1815, but yeah, it's a locally family-owned business.
There you
go. Started out back in the.
Exactly. So gates open. What time do gates open on Tuesday?
Oh, we're going to open up early this year. That way, everybody can come in. They're not as much. You'll be able to get in by 10 o'clock.
Okay.
But overall, we'll expect most people coming in about an hour for the first game. 1 o'clock, they'll be there at 12. And then the other game starts 30 minutes early this year. We've been getting Tennessee back at 2 o'clock in the morning. So 30 minutes does a lot, to get them back.
Yeah, it does.
Lose an hour and everything. So we're going to start at 5:30, first pitch, and, you'll be there two and a half hours. And, it'll be a good evening, good softball game. Can't wait. I really can. Really.
So 1 and 5:30, and gates will open at 12 and.
No, 10 o'clock.
10
o'clock. Yeah. And one ticket will get you into both games, right?
Excuse me?
One ticket, both games?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
One ticket, both games.
Okay.
Hey, and you can buy your tickets online. About 60 to 70% of our tickets have been sold online this year. And there's a really good thing about that. If you buy a ticket online, not only do you get a copy, but I get a record of it. So if you lose your ticket and you show up, I can see, hey, you had that ticket. And you can tell me what the name, the number, and everything, and I can get you in the game. If you buy a hard ticket
and you lose it,
you're out.
Yeah, you're SOL at that point.
So this new operation program really helps. It really provides a lot for what we do. It'll help it helps some rentals. You don't have to just get up and come over and get a rental by hand. You can go on and look and see if it's available, a practice field. Next year, our tournament directors will be able to utilize it. It'll allow us to track who's coming in, how much economic impact that tournament's having on our community. So it's just a lot of good things going on. We got a lot of good things going on in Columbia right now.
Okay. Hey, Mac, I've seen, high school softball schedules have been turned into me and that kind of thing, and a lot of them have March 17 kind of blocked out as Mid-State Classic. What kind of response are you getting from area high school teams planning to come to the game and that kind of thing?
We're getting a good response from schools. A lot of middle schools have called in. So there'll be a lot of kids there coming, and that's always our hope that someday some young lady will grow up, watching this game, and then she'll come back and play in it. And we sort of have that this year, We have a young lady who signed, y'all know the school, Santa Fe, I believe?
No, Zion Christian. Mm-hmm.
Apologize, Zion.
No, that's okay.
For me in the morning.
I know. Anna Grace Fox playing middle infield for UT. In fact, again, I spoke to Ralph Weekly earlier this morning, and he says she's been playing a good bit and playing pretty well for him. So be a homecoming for her.
So awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause that young lady probably played in our park, which from the time it was built, go on, gets to go to college on a scholarship and play at one of the better universities. Ooh, I better be careful saying that.
You qualified it pretty well. One of the better. I mean, that's
yeah.
You.
Well, Bruno's like that. I can't. Well, you sort of lose your.
Yeah. Well, they don't have softball.
That's true. That's
true.
Their fault. They need. Well, because wouldn't that be awesome?
It would.
You could have that rivalry right here. I would love that. I'd like to have a scrimmage with Vanderbilt, and Tennessee soccer to come in, or a game. That would just be awesome.
At your brand new soccer complex.
And man, is it looking good. Finally got the final signature in. Grass is growing good. It really got tested. It drained as well as we thought it would. They were days when we would get, over a week we would get, 6-7 inches of rain. If you give it a day or so, it dries up. So
cool.
I wish we could have been here on the development of the softball side and got a few things done. But on the other side, it is really just working like it's supposed to. And we'll catch up on the softball,
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, you go back to being the sensei master Reagan, and you got 25 young ones right there, and make them all behave.
Oh, they actually still think I'm dangerous. so they're okay.
You're just a big old teddy bear.
As long as they keep thinking that's the good thing.
That's it. Got your bluff in.
There'll be a day that they'll get to toss me around. I remember it happened with Bruno and Gabby.
Oh yeah.
One day they beat me and I couldn't beat them anymore. So
oh no! Whoa! Hang on a second. How did Gabby do in judo?
Gabby was a recreational player. She would come and take it, and she liked to play the game. She would show up on Fun Day, which was Friday, and then she would go out every year and win nationals.
Oh, great!
Well, see, I had this rule: if you win nationals, you don't have to go through the belt test. And Gabby hated belt test, so she would go win nationals.
Hey, I hated my daddy's belt test. Believe me.
Yeah. But she was just a super athlete, doing really good in volleyball down at Manual College in Georgia. Really
good, excellent.
Really been blessed with my kids.
Good deal.
You keep your kids in sports, keep them active. Make sure that they go to school and do well, and it'll reward you.
Yep, they will.
Athletics can really do a lot of good things for the world.
Well, Matt, good to have you on, and give me a call. Keep me updated on what's going to happen Tuesday. So
I will. There's some things changing on the announcement I'm going to give you. So,
okay.
As always, so I'll make sure those get finalized today, this evening or tomorrow, and we will get them to you as quick as possible.
That sounds good, brother. We appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Y'all have fun.
Have a good night. Bye. All right. Bye-bye. So there you go, boys and girls. Mack Reagan.
The man, the myth, the legend.
I'm sorry, Sensei Reagan.
Sensei.
Yeah, that's right. Complete all geed out.
A blown up Miyagi.
That's right. Somebody's got a wedding that we've been planning for. When is this going to take place?
June 27th.
Really?
Yep.
Eric and Hannah.
Eric and Hannah, yep. In Rome, Georgia.
Rome?
Actually,
so they're getting married in Rome.
Actually, Rockmart.
Oh, really?
Right below Rome.
Oh, okay. Well, see, but it would be more sexy if they said we're getting married in Rome.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
So I guess you're going to be
Georgia.
You're going to be in a suit again, then, huh?
Yeah, I am. That's that'll be
twice in
1 year. Got to be some kind of recent record there. Good boy. Yeah, they're excited. So I'm not involved in the planning, but they are. They're making progress.
Oh, you're involved.
Oh, well, yeah. You're the. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice.
Right.
Mm-hmm. When do I need to be there?
The silent investor.
That's right.
Yeah. And how much is this costing me?
Everything.
And you want to do what?
Yeah.
But the silent is the key.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you want to keep peace, keep silent.
Yeah, that's the way.
Have we had any more update on Stony Brook? Have we heard anything?
They're going to stay open through the rest of the year.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we've talked about that.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, they made that decision, and they're hoping something will turn out. With a new buyer over that time, but it's looking up a little bit.
So it'll have to be a private investor at this point.
Yes, yeah,
or a group.
But they've got a lot of traffic recently. So the last month or so has been good.
So if they're going to stay open through the end of the year, then your high schools that were playing their golf seasons out there will be able to do that again. Is it? Because you guys, now where does Central play?
Central played at
Stony Brook.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not sure where that stands right now. Okay. I don't know. Just because I haven't been involved in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Since you're no longer the AD.
No longer the AD. Yep.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it feels good.
Yeah.
As we're all supposed to do now, he washed his hands of that.
So
Did you wash them for at least 20 seconds?
I think you watched them for more than 20 seconds.
good point.
Had several years involved on that.
He's saying he didn't sing the alphabet song. He sang the encyclopedia song.
He got him good and clean. I do believe.
Absolutely.
So do you miss it?
Yeah, I can't really say that I do. I miss. I like coaching. I miss the fun stuff. Games and watching kids win games and things like that. I don't miss the hours at all.
Did you realize at some point though that there's a lot of hours you were putting in?
Yeah. I mean, kind of yes and no. I mean, I had been close to the situation. I mean, I'd been involved from a different angle, so it's not like I had no clue. But probably getting everything worked out on a computer, which is not my forte anyway. That probably was more time consuming than.
Did you realize how much time you were going to have once you stepped away from it?
Not at all. And
ain't it great?
That was, yeah. that was true of coaching too. I still remember the first year out of coaching. I didn't miss it a bit because I was getting caught up with the rest of the world. Now that second year, I missed it a ton. The second year was tough, but after that, I got involved. Yep, got involved in other things and moved on. And so that'll probably be the same way.
Which was tougher, the athletic directorship or coaching?
Coaching's much tougher. It's just with athletic director, things end.
Yeah.
You go out of one season into the next, but that for the athletic director, you put the fall sports, to bed, and you move on to winter sports and then spring, and coaching never
goes to bed.
Never goes to bed, never ends. I was head coach at Central for almost 14 years, and I don't think there was ever a single day where I thought I was caught up. It was just always something to do. I remember the first full year I was a head coach, there was one day that I didn't do something involved with football, and that was Thanksgiving that year. So that means Christmas.
And if you make a deep enough run,
you're
doing something on Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's true. That was my first year as a full. By saying that means I did something on Christmas Eve and Christmas. It's just never ever ending. And it's fun too, though. I mean, it's not like it was all bad. So, yeah, there was a vacuum when I left there, and same with the athletic director.
Vance, when you talk about that and you look at the landscape, particularly of high school football coaching, and you consider, say, a Boyce Smith who did it forever up at Springfield, or just somebody of that ilk. Will we ever see that again?
It's not likely, I don't think. It's possible, and I think of Gary Rankin and what he's, how long he's been at it and been successful and stayed with it. But as far as doing more than one sport and for a long time, that part of it I don't see coming back. It's each sport is just so involved nowadays, and off-season part is crucial for so many sports in high school now. It's very hard to survive if your off-season's not good. You're just not going to have that opportunity. So, but you really got to be hats off to people who do it for 40 and 50 years, and it's just it's an outstanding accomplishment, no doubt.
If the players aren't involved in other sports, say basketball or baseball or whatever, how do you keep them motivated to keep those kids from the time that the season's over, say the end of October, to spring practice?
Well, I think it's gotten to the point where the kids understand off-season is important. They know, that's one thing that I think has really changed from when I played. When I graduated in '81, I had no idea how much you could improve yourself in the weight room. Now, we did it, but I had no idea. We did it because the coach said do it.
There's a novel concept there,
right.
too, isn't it?
That's right, exactly. But there wasn't the amount of information available back then, to where you could actually,
quantify it to some degree.
Yes, and tell, now you pick up a phone in 2 seconds, you got pictures and articles and in-depth discussion about how this one kid improved so much. It just wasn't available back then, so kids are, most of them are pretty motivated, and take that on in the off season, and certainly teams that are self-motivated throughout the winter months are certainly going to have an advantage.
Though, as you look at Central, particularly for a school of its size, you don't see a whole lot of football-only guys.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of the guys are involved in
something else,
sports, and that's a good point too. I think the ideal high school athlete or football player, let's look at it from that. He is highly motivated in the off season in the weight room and stuff, but he also plays at least one more sport. We've talked about karate and all that stuff, and benefits of that. Track is a huge benefit for all team sports. The number one thing that research has shown about developing speed is that the repetitiveness of running full speed increases speed. So there's no better place to do that than running track, where you're trying to outrun somebody. And then you have the field events, too, that pay off for various positions as well. I think that's the ideal high school athlete plays two sports and is dedicated to his own physical development as well.
When you heard that back in the day, 10 years ago or so, that Trey D. Goff had bench pressed 400 pounds, did you think, I got something special in this kid?
Yeah, I don't remember that point. I remember him working hard through the weight and being strong. I don't remember specifically on the bench press, but Trey D was unique in that he
was a specimen.
Right, exactly. He stood out more on the field than he did in any particular test or anything else. His 40 time didn't match how well he played on Friday nights, and His strength was obviously good, but it wasn't on the level of his play. He was just really astounding how much how more advanced he was as a player.
As a coach, how frustrating is that? Because, we had the NFL Combine a couple of weeks ago, and Juwan Jennings goes and runs a 4.73 and gets ripped from coast to coast for it. But, at what point do you just say, turn on the tape?
Yeah, this guy can just I think that should always be a part of it. Some guys are like Trey Day. They just don't test.
They don't test well.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And some of it's just their physical makeup is that way. The stuff that you can test them in, is not playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think people get a little bit over concerned about test results and that type of thing.
But I think the flip side of it, though, what I've kind of figured out is I think from a recruiting standpoint or from a drafting standpoint, it's probably easier to miss on a kid that has all the measurables and can't play than to take somebody who doesn't have the measurables and then it turns out that he can't play, because at least this guy fit the mold.
Mm-hmm.
It's
right.
easier to sell, maybe. I mean,
Yes.
from a PR standpoint.
Yes.
But like a Trey D, like a Jawan, I mean, these guys they're showing up on Saturdays, they're showing up on Friday nights. I mean,
Right.
isn't that it?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. The kids that have an advantage going in are the ones who are tall for their positions or sport and can run fast. And then, you have kids that don't hit that category either side, but they're really, accomplished on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the kids that get left, I think, kind of like what you're saying, sometimes are under-recognized from what they should be.
I mean, if Trey D is 6'3" instead of
Oh, good Lord.
5'11",
Oh, good Lord.
They're all over him. Yeah. We would have had people at our school every single day that it was legal.
and some other day.
The one thing I
And
saw
standing
with
in
Trey
line.
D, he took it personal when we lost to Tullahoma during the 2010 season. He took that to
Well,
Trey D golf.
yes.
It was personal.
Yeah. And I
I mean,
think,
it was.
I think that's a big part of Trey D's success,
Yeah.
too, is
Eddie and I remember.
he was willing to put it on his shoulders. He wasn't standing around waiting on somebody else to make the play.
No.
And that was in particularly true when something went wrong. I've made this statement many times. When we came off the field at halftime in the semifinals in 10 against Knoxville West, I knew we weren't going to lose the game. I mean, you don't have that feeling often. I knew we were going to win unless something,
Catastrophic.
extreme. Yes, thank you. But the thing is, people won't realize it was 7-0 at that time. We were up 7-0, and I could tell by Trey D's body language they were not going to score, and he didn't need anybody telling him anything at halftime. What I wanted to happen was the next 20 minutes to get over real quick and get
him back out on the field.
before anything changed.
What's it like as a coach to have a presence like that on your team?
Oh, it makes coaching so much easier. I mean, knowing, that's really what a lot of it's about. Knowing you've got somebody you can count on, rely on, somebody you trust, is going to give the absolute best. And that's what you spend all your time on. You're trying to get that with every single player, that you trust them to go out and do their absolute best. And that's all you can ask of somebody. That's the whole struggle of coaching is trying to get that. And sometimes you get it a lot, and sometimes you're searching for that one guy. That's where programs turn around a lot of times is that 1, 2, maybe 3 guys that develop that, you have that trust in them, and then everybody else jumps on board. I saw that happen in 2 times where programs turned around. It started with 2 kids, actually.
Which other time are you referring to?
The other time was in Shelbyville when I was an assistant. We had 2 guards, and we ran the wing tee. They were the 2 guards, and they were the nose and middle linebacker on
defense.
And it didn't matter if it was Wednesday afternoon, Monday morning, Friday night. If you got in,
they were ready to go, huh?
right. If you got in their way, they were going to knock you down. We had our program was thoroughly entrenched in contact and wearing full pads. We had to come out of full pads because those guys
Wow.
were light people up. I'm not sure they played to win. I think they just played
To
to
hurt
hit
somebody.
People. They just want to hit somebody. And they weren't.
We had heard that many times,
They
didn't
were,
we, Eddie?
yeah.
Hit somebody.
And they weren't. They were great kids. And they probably didn't want to hurt them. They didn't care if they hurt them. They just wanted to line up and hit somebody the next play.
Back in the latter 70s, there was a young man that played football at Central. His name was David Rash.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
David, when he was in high school, bench pressed 400. And but when they would play, you could tell he was holding back. And I coached him in Babe Ruth baseball. And I went up to him one day. I said, David, a boy your size and with your strength, every time that ball is snapped, I said, you should be back here on the quarterback before anything's ever happening. I said, why don't you just throw people out of your way and go get him? Well, I'm scared I'm going to hurt somebody. And I said, well, David, you're playing the wrong sport.
Trey D was never afraid of that.
I didn't realize until I was talking to Larry Jones last week out at Columbia State at the conference tournament.
What was Larry doing out there?
Larry. I didn't realize Trey D played basketball at Central.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a big body.
Well, that's what he said. He said he won a couple of games
Yeah.
for you guys with last-second shots, and that. So clearly it carries over to some degree.
It does. And, along those lines, Shaq Mason could have played baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he was an
played all
outstanding
the way
baseball
through.
player.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
But he did the shot in the springtime. Sure did. So, yeah. But yeah, those 2 body types, you wouldn't really think of that first off anyway.
No.
But
Well, you had Trey D, you
so
had
athletic.
You had Shaq, you had Big Kenny. I think Big Kenny's doing okay now. I haven't heard anything, so
Yeah, I haven't
best
heard
of luck to
anything
him.
recent.
So,
Yep.
but you had all those guys on that team. Matt Markham, good baseball player as well.
Yep.
He was an outstanding baseball player.
Absolutely.
This was back during the time when I ran Mo out of the press box, by the way. I just want you to know. And
He remembers that better than I
and
do.
now we're-
I mean, if he was the only one that had run me out of a press box, it'd be different. But
well, but for me, it was a thing. Because I want to go home.
press boxes haven't been press boxes in a long time.
Hey, I made a and did I not make a place for you?
You did.
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
You did.
Yeah. We'll see about the next guy.
What else is? I as I was pulling up here,
Oh,
I was just glad that the show hadn't been canceled.
how come?
Well, the NCAA tournament games are not admitting fans.
Well,
right?
here's the deal. My Corona. I'm not worried about it because here, and I was going to bring that up anyway.
Mm-hmm. Nice segue.
Heard on very nice segue. You did a good job. That's why I have you on the show.
There we go.
Dad, and you're a friend. But here's the deal. People are upset more about the coronavirus simply because, and I heard this on a sports talk show the other day, there is a vaccine for the flu, but there is no vaccine for the coronavirus.
Well, I think people are upset about it just because it's unknown.
Exactly.
And you don't know. You don't want to overreact. You certainly don't want to underreact. And so you're trying to kind of find that sweet spot in terms of something that you just don't know.
But like Eddie and I were talking before the show, the symptoms of the coronavirus are similar to flu-like symptoms.
So how do you know?
You don't, and you really don't. It's the high
take a
fever and the
test.
cough.
Yeah.
You have to take a test to find out if you have it or not.
Which may or may not be available.
And I'm not good at test taking. I'm horrible at that.
You're awful.
Well, they said they tried to give the test to Trump, but he kept eating the swabs. So he thought it was cotton candy. I know the Secret Service is out to get me already.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry about it. They're no worse than the IRS, and they've been after me. But anyway.
What else you got
Spring.
on your list over there,
Well,
sir?
I don't have a lot of stuff over here. May 16th will be the date for Fight Like Dylan.
That's later than usual, isn't it?
It is later than usual. We're going to offer the scholarships to 2 Columbia Central seniors at the same time we normally do during the awards day. And then the tournament's going to be on May 16th, and we're doing it Fight Like Dylan Golf Tournament in benefit for, there's a young lady here in town that unfortunately at 2 years old diagnosed with cancer. And so the proceeds will go toward her family.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we're doing it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
At Stony Brook?
At Stony Brook.
Okay.
Yeah. And we're going to limit it to the number of carts that they have at Stony Brook. But if you have a cart, please bring it, and you're more than welcome to use
How
it.
many carts do they have?
I think it's around 30. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to check with TJ on that.
Okay.
Something in that area.
So 6.
It's TJ.
Speaking of the devil,
Hey, TJ.
Hey, you want to hook him up on here?
you're on.
I'm actually on the air with Dan. You want to?
We can hook him up.
Do you want to plug into it? That's all right. Okay.
No, we ain't gonna give you a holler back.
Hey, Dan wants to ask you something on
No,
the air.
that's no. That's we'll just no.
Want to do that?
That's funny.
Okay, he's good. Let's get the girl's name
Okay.
on here.
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
Hang on a second. We're gonna plug in over here somewhere. Trying to find.
Whoa!
I may not have one.
No, you don't. You
Oh, he
don't,
doesn't have a plug?
You don't have. Hey, TJ.
Put him on speaker.
So hang on a minute. Let me put you on. There you are. You're on speaker now, Bubba. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Hey, we're hanging in like a hair in a biscuit.
There you go.
We're talking about May 16th being the day. They have about 30 carts out at Stony Brook, but anybody who wants to bring a cart is welcome to do so.
Yeah, it's actually. I think from talking to Rick in the past out at the golf course, it's somewhere around. He's got enough carts to handle like 2016s, I think it is,
Right.
something around in there. And then we're definitely. It's definitely whoever can bring their own cart. I mean, I'm not opposed to getting carts, but I would like to wait to see where we're at, kind of getting closer to time, and then see if I can get somebody, if anybody's interested in maybe, donating a trailer or donating their time to help us out there, if we do have to get extra carts.
Right now, we're doing this as a benefit. We're doing the Dylan Rabior Memorial Golf Tournament 4, and the young lady is?
Her name is Charlie Campbell.
Okay. And she was diagnosed with cancer at age 2.
Yeah, it was leukemia, yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes.
all the proceeds of the benefit will go to her.
Well, basically after the
Yeah.
scholarships, because we're still gonna do the scholarships, but everything after that will go to the family. Yes, sir.
Okay. Very good. That's going to be on May 16th at Stony Brook Golf Course.
That is correct, my friend.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, we appreciate the information, and see you on down the road, and I'll give you back to Coach, but I'm gonna take it off speaker before I do that.
Okay, Dan, I appreciate it, buddy.
All right, man.
All right.
That's your phone, Coach. I can't operate your phone.
Hey, that's just like you can't.
I'll holler back at you.
Hey, you can't pack another man's trunk. You know.
I'll tell you what, you don't rub another man's rhubarb either.
Yeah. So, that's hilarious.
Hey,
though,
that was
he
on
called
Batman the other night. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. Go figure.
Great timing.
Yeah, excellent timing. Appreciate that. Anyway, May 16th is the date, so we appreciate everybody coming out there. We have a Mule Day coming up, Jane's Media, of which my son owns, just for clarification purposes, and for folks who see this on Facebook, my son is the proprietor of Jane's Media, not me. So he's looking for sponsorships for our broadcast of the Mule Day Parade. Starts at 11 o'clock on Mule Day, Saturday. And give him a look at on his janesmedia.com.
He's also got a Facebook page, right?
He does. He has a Facebook page, and you can sign up and become one of our sponsors, and things are going to be great good. I've already got things ready to go from the audio side of things.
Looks good, too. I've seen it.
Yeah, but you're an overachiever.
Well, you're right. I am an overachiever. But I've been working on stuff.
That makes one of us.
Oh, did you get the information you were looking for the other day?
I
Okay.
did.
All right.
All right. After working for the last several years with Dan, you come to realize he prepares. He don't like to go into anything that he don't have any, prior knowledge of or whatever.
The man is a professional.
He can't wing it.
Thank
He's
you.
got to do it by
To
script.
give you an example,
The man is a professional.
I bought a set of 4 wireless headsets so that the people who are out in the street and they're doing the broadcast with their wireless mics can hear and not have to depend on the PA system to hear where I'm giving them a cue. Mm-hmm. So I set it up in here. I figured when you've got walls around you and there's steel and things and brick and mortar and that kind of stuff, that's going to give you the best chance of finding out what your problem is. So I made a sophomore mistake. I put both receivers, or both transmitters rather, on the same frequency. It was crossing itself in a triangular pattern in order for it not to work. So therefore, once I put this one on one frequency, this on the other, problem solved. But it was a sophomore mistake.
Better to find it out on March 11th than on April 4th.
It would not have. It would not.
It wouldn't have been pretty.
No, it would not have happened because I would not let that happen going into it. I was going to find out the solution, so I did.
There you go.
So there you go.
The man's a professional.
Yeah, that's right.
Folks could learn from that.
Definitely. Definitely.
And I'll just leave.
I'll leave it at that.
I'll just leave it at that. As far as said, that's all I have to say about that.
Life's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never know what you're gonna get.
That's right. Exactly. So anything new in your world? I mean, you've been covering. I mean, all of a sudden, you get through Christmas and you get through the first part of the year, and then bam, you're hit with baseball and basketball and
the overlap. As I'm sure Vance can tell you from his years as an AD, is always a test because you've got stuff winding down.
This is only a test.
We've talked about tests a lot, haven't we? But
and we don't do good with tests.
We don't do good with tests.
You've got stuff finishing up and you've got stuff starting up, and it starts to kind of commingle there. This is the first week of spring sports at the high school level: baseball, softball.
You kind of feel
forgot. No, we almost forgot the young lady, our wrestling young lady.
Oh, yeah.
At Columbia Central.
Trinity Robinson, the junior over at Columbia Central, became the first Murray County wrestler, regardless of gender, to medal at the state level. Finished fourth at the state tournament about, I guess it's been almost, 3 weeks ago, a month ago now?
Yeah.
Up at Franklin. finished fourth at the 215-pound weight class, which
Cool.
is the top weight class for high school girls in Tennessee. This was her first year to wrestle. Didn't get to wrestle for the majority of the regular season because she had to get down to 215. And it's awfully uncomfortable as a male talking to a female, regardless of her age, about her weight.
Yeah.
But fortunately, having been in wrestling, it was a little less uncomfortable. But she was great, and she's a great young lady. And
So congratulations.
congratulations to her. Congratulations to her first-year coach, Dane Peoples, over at Columbia Central. And congratulations to the Central community for the support that they showed that young lady over the course of her postseason. She finished third at the West Region over at Nolensville at the 1st of February, and then she turned around and finished fourth over at the state a few weeks ago. And again, she's a junior, so she'll be coming back. And I think everybody that finished ahead of her at the state were all seniors, so there will be some eyes on her in 2020, 2021, and she's going to be fun to watch.
Good deal. Quick reminder, soccer is at Lindsey Nelson Stadium on Friday night, and rugby. We'll have female rugby coming up on the 26th of March.
The official debut
Yep.
of Chris Binkley
I'm telling you.
as the successor to Dan LaFond, who
Recently married Chris Binkley.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
the successor to the ice cream scooper, Dan LaFond.
Oh, that's cold, man.
Well,
Actually, it is. We're out of here for this
That's
Wednesday
where we
night.
should be.
Yes, we are. We'll see you.